Hi everyone, it's Cecilia Maida, the founder of Paws Across America. I know many of y'all have wondered what happened to me, but a lot of you that have been following me know that I've been suffering from a serious genetic kidney disease called polycystic kidney disease. I've been battling it for 45 years, and unfortunately it finally caught up with me, and I was unable to be online very often, and my wonderful Paws Across America admins were carrying on the charge to try and get people to educate on how they vote for their elected officials and to get legislation changed and to lobby locally to help the animals. But today I'm actually contacting you on another issue to give you an update on what's going on with my health. Everybody's probably seen the posts running around of me saying I need a kidney, which is still the case. I'm in desperate need of a kidney. I did have one donor that was in the loop there, but they had their own health issues and they've had personal issues. So unfortunately, as of yesterday, I have now I've lost that donor. And I am now I've been on dialysis for 6 months. I was basically near death 6 months ago. I got on the machine. And for those of you who don't know, it's not that really easy being on a dialysis machine. Not only do you have to go in there every other day for several hours and lay there and have these big monstrous needles the size of toothpicks shoved in your arms, but things happen when you're in there, like they have what they call infiltrations when the needle goes out of the vein, and oh my God, it's the most painful thing you've ever happened. Your arm swells up, you have to ice it down, my arms are black and blue, swollen, where they've been putting the needles, and then you don't even get a break because you have to go in the day after tomorrow and let them stick needles into your swollen black and blue arm, because if you don't, you die. And then one of the other things that goes on, and I wasn't even familiar with this, but whenever they start taking off fluid, sometimes it just gets to be a little bit too much, and your blood pressure will actually tank, what I call it, drops really low. Like mine dropped the other day down to 60, and nobody walked up to my chair or anything. I had to call them over, but I was feeling real sick and everything, and oh, well, good thing you called us over, because, when your blood pressure gets this low, it could cause your blood to clot in that, what they call the vein in your arm. Mine's called a fistule. And you have to have a surgery where they go in and reroute a vein and make it a big giant vein so they can keep hitting the needles on it. It's a pretty big, thing. You have to, it takes about 6 weeks to recover. But if that blood pressure drops to 60, it'll clot and blow that thing, and you'll have to get another one. And if they say you need another one, or if yours gets a stenosis, or it narrows down, which they're talking about with mine now, then that means that you probably have to get another one done if they can't fix that one. And that means that if while they're doing that surgery and you're trying to recover from it, that they would have to go in and put a temporary one, like right here into your chest or whatever, where you have this thing hanging out of your chest or in your groin. And they have to find somewhere to be able to dialyze you while you're trying to recover from the 6-week surgery to get a new fistule or shunt or port. And anyway, so I was wanting to contact everybody and let them know that the big update is while I'm sitting on this machine, I've been having struggles and everything trying to be on it. Last week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I came home and I was like literally just so exhausted and drained that I literally just crawled in bed, didn't get out. And then I just get up the next day and I try and get a few things done if I can, like errands that are necessary to survive. Like I went to the dentist today, but just so I can get up and go to the machine the next day and pray nothing goes terribly wrong, because the ambulance is coming in and I'm watching the people around me drop like flies half the time. It's just horrifying. Not to mention what it does psychologically to you. But anyway, so not to say the least, after 6 months, it's taking its toll on me. But I'm now putting out an all-out plea. I am seriously in the most desperate place I've ever been in. I need a hero. I need a miracle. Sorry. It's hard to keep begging somebody to give me a kidney. Anyway, basically what you have to do if you are a kidney donor and or if you wish to be one, you have to be basically healthy. You don't have to be a marathon runner or anything. You just can't have like diabetes, high blood pressure, chronic illness to where you can be successfully a candidate for surgery. You can't be a heavy drinker because, if they take one kidney out, they don't want you to be a heavy drinker when you only have one left. That's another thing. And you don't have to be a match. Everybody says, oh, I wish I was a match, but you don't have to be a match because they have now what they call the donor pairing program. So if you were to say, I'll do it, and I don't care what, then you could donate your kidney to Joe around the corner, and Joe would get a kidney, but what that would do is that would automatically bump me up to the very top of the list, and then they would find me a kidney that matches me no matter what, because I brought you into the program. So when you do the donor pairing, 2 lives are saved by one individual offering a kidney. So irregardless of me, even if it's not me, I encourage everybody to really consider being an organ donor, because there's a lot of people like me out there. And just for those of you who know me, I didn't get like this because I drank too much, I ate too much, or anything. I got this because I was born. It was a genetic thing that I inherited from my father, and he's already deceased with it. I traveled the country as the poster child for it. I was trying to get public awareness for it because nobody had ever heard of it. Your doctors didn't know anything, which was also very much of a struggle over the 45 years I battled this, not being able to find experts, unless you got on an airplane and flew to them. And, the fear, like, a doctor would treat you like you just have CRD, and you really don't. That means chronic renal disease, by the way, when you don't just have that, because you have polycystic kidney disease. And, my kidneys are the size of footballs, and I also have polycystic liver disease, and my liver is also enlarged. So that's why I've been disabled with the disease from the sheer monstrous size of my organs. I was unable to have children. I could get pregnant, but I couldn't carry them because there was no room in my abdomen to be able to do so. And ironically, my kidneys have gotten so huge, I look like the chronic pregnant woman, so I'm the chronic pregnant lady that never got to be called mom. And anyway, but that's just the way it is. It just happened. And at least I had a good body when I was younger, so I can always look back at my old pictures of what my body used to look like before I was the chronic pregnant lady. But anyway, I just want to let everybody know, if you are interested in being a donor, and or if you want to be my hero, you don't have to live locally, but my transplant center is in San Francisco. So basically, you just fill out a medical questionnaire, and if you get past that point, then they will send you a FedEx with a slip to a local lab near you, and you will go get your blood drawn, do urine test, and they usually want you to make sure that you're healthy. So they like to know that you've had a recent colonoscopy, and just general overall health, general health things, screenings, and that type deal. And then if you are well enough, then they move forward, and then you would end up having to come out to spend a day, meet with the doctors, the dietitian, and they'll kind of go over everything, and they even have you talk with a psychologist to make sure somebody like me isn't pressuring you to give you a kidney, etc., and that you psychologically understand what's going on, just so that, for they're concerned about the well-being of the donor, obviously. But you can live happily with one kidney. Like, I have a friend right now that says, I'd love to give you a kidney, but I can't because my wife has only one, and if anything ever happens to her, I am her spare. So that's kind of the deal. But on the average, I meet lots of people that have one kidney over the 45 years when I traveled the country as a poster child. But I haven't actually, believe it or not, met people with 3, and I wish I would have gotten their business card. But at that time, my kidneys were still kind of hanging in there. They were just really big. That's always the joke, is if you've got a 3rd one, I could sure use it. But anyway, I just want to let you know, and if you are interested, everybody knows me. I'm the founder of Paws Across America, an animal rights media lady. Cecilia Maida, C-E-C-I-L-I-A, last name Maida, M-A-I-D-A. I have, you can find me on Facebook, but I prefer you if you message me. Please don't just put it in comments on this video, because I will never see it, because people share it all over, and the threads just get lost somewhere in the Facebook, whatever, virtual world, and I never even see those. And even if you tag me sometimes, if I'm not feeling well, not online for a few days, I miss the tags. So it's best if you actually send a private message to me. In worst case scenario, if you don't know what else to do, you can even go to the Paws Across America Advocacy main group, and you could even post in there and just say, please let Cecilia know I want to offer her a kidney. And one of the admins that have to approve that post to get in there will see it, and they will let me know. But that's the best way to do it with it. But anyway, if there's anybody out there that wants to be my hero, I could sure use one right now. And it's hard to explain how you feel when you have to keep begging people to save your life, but I don't really think I can spend the rest of my life living on a dialysis machine is the real reality of all this. I wasn't even going to go on the machine until I knew I had a donor. My kidneys were basically failing. I was at creatinine, what they call 13. I was severely ill. I could barely walk to my car. I couldn't even eat. But I was prepared to leave this earth versus go on the machine. But then they told me that my donor was clearing. And they even checked on the financials. And by the way, y'all know the story on that. You know, like 3 years ago, I had another wonderful, sweet girl offering to give me a kidney. She stuck with me for a year. And then when she was ready to fly out to San Francisco, they checked my financials. And I had Medicare only, so they canceled everything. So I lost her. And then I went and had to remedy the medical insurance thing to not have just one policy. I had to find another one when I had a pre-existing condition and renal failure, which is not easy, trust me. But because of the Affordable Care Act and Obamacare, I was able to get that. And it was an additional several $100s a month, which was very hard on my limited income. But there were even people like you out there. I had a GoFundMe circulating, and so once a month there were some people that just don't need $50, $25 to even help me pay these expensive premiums so I can even try and live. I'm sorry I'm crying, but it's just, I'm so weary of all this. But I got past that obstacle and I got the insurance, and then I had a donor come in. A childhood friend of mine's ex-husband saw me on Facebook with a plea, and he came in and offered. And he stuck with me for almost 2 years, but he had a lot of his own health issues and personal issues, so it just, you know, right now it's not working out. So I am putting out a plea that I have an SOS plea. I definitely need a kidney. And, you know, there's a lot of organizations out there, but most of them want you to pay. You know, if you go to matchingdonors.org and all that, you know, if you have $500, you go to this one. Oh, if you have $1,000, I don't have all that kind of money to just go join all these groups to help me find a kidney. But I did, you know, I have been struggling, but I've been paying the premiums so that I at least have the appropriate insurance so they won't kick my donor out again like they did the first one. And, but now my donor isn't healthy enough, so I've got to try and find another one. And, because as you can probably tell, this is very emotional for me. I'm struggling. Because it's different when you go in there and sit at that machine and know you have no hope of getting off of it. And then try doing it all during the middle of a pandemic. You know, when you walk in there with 30 or 40 people and you don't have a choice or you die. But then you could die because you do walk in the room. It's just, there's so much that goes on. But anyway, I just wanted to put out a plea to you. And I hope I might try and take the time, too, to do one of my animal welfare videos. And I do apologize for not doing that. But, you know, when I was very ill, I was just too weak to hardly even come online. And now I just kind of pop on and off when I can. But I just wanted to say thank you to all of you who have offered. And even if you weren't healthy enough to help me, it meant everything that you did. And for those of you out there that were, like, giving me $50 a month, $25 a month, trying to help me pay my premiums, you don't even know. Sometimes when that happened, I was just like, thank you, God, because I wasn't going to have to wonder if I was going to be able to eat that month to pay my premiums. And it's kind of a sad place that we lived like this when I worked all my life. But I don't really qualify for any help because I couldn't have children, and I did work, so I'm not indigent. So they don't feel like I qualify for any help. But anyway, that's my own sad luck story here. But I just want to reach out to y'all because I've read it since I lost my donor. I've been in a pretty bad emotional place. And I just thought it'd be easier if I just went live and told people what was really going on. And I'm so sorry to be sitting here crying. I wasn't planning on crying. But I think that this is literally, it's just gotten to me a little bit. But anyway, I just want to say, too, that being part of the animal welfare community, the hearts of some of the people that I meet and the kindness that they offer, it's really beyond words. But y'all are some of the biggest hearted people that I've ever met in my life, even more so than I would have to say my own family is, who has refused to even offer me a kidney. And I won't even get into that, but it has to do with politics, basically. But anyway, but that's a sad thing, when politics drive families apart to where they don't even want to save their own sister's life. But that's a whole nother video I could do. And I won't bore you with that after we've just been through the political storm we've weathered with everybody fighting with each other, even in the animal welfare world. Which I just wanted to add, that is not helpful for the animals. When you're attacking another fellow animal advocate over their politics, nobody wins, the animals lose. But anyway, on that note, I will just say, take care, everybody, and I hope you're well. And I hope that if you are interested in donating a kidney, that you will send me a private message, and I will let you know that I will give you the link to do the medical questionnaire, and we can get this thing moving, because I'd really like to expedite it. And if not, thank you for listening, and you take care, and remember, don't fight with your animal welfare advocates over politics, because the animals lose. No politics are worth losing the network you've dedicated years to build. I've lost so many animal advocates over this political season, calling me horrible, filthy names and everything, and I've just ended up blocking them. But I won't tolerate people insulting me and abusing me because we have differing political views. And when we've gotten to that point, we've really started harming the animals. And I just wanted to end on that note. And I will maybe do another video down the road. And also, I will lastly end with, please, everybody, pay attention to what's going on with the federally protected wild horses. They have they escalated. You know, they've been going on for a long time, but they really escalated the roundups under this Trump administration. They have this guy named Penley in there, and he was so horrible that the Senate wouldn't even confirm him, and they were demanding he resign. They had a court order to get him out of there, and he wouldn't leave. But he was rounding up our federally protected wild horses to try and give that land to the cattlemen, Anyway, that's a whole nother, I'm going to do a whole video on it. But just pay attention when you see any posts flying around about the wild horses. And I'll try and educate you on that. I've been really sharing a lot of it, you might have noticed, even in the animal welfare, trying to get the mainstream animal welfare people to see the plight of them so we can try and help them, because they're really rounding up so many, they're decimating the herds to where they can't even reproduce. But those horses belong to me and you, and it's their land, and they belong on that land, not rounded up and removed. And not to mention the cost with that.